How do we keep this one? Should we make this tighter?
Just turn that down for some reason.
Alright, stop the UMAR right there. Okay. So that's all you right there. You got your what's the name on?
Got that cameras on. All cameras are
Do I
on.
need to get on the Wi-Fi? You know the Wi-Fi code?
I don't.
Oh, I'm good. It's working. Hopefully it'll
Test, test. Test, test, 1, 2.
That might feel nice.
Am I too far away from it here?
No, you're perfect.
I'm good?
Yeah, you're perfect.
All right.
Might feel nice. Yeah, I gotta, how do I make
Test.
the, how do I make the, topic?
I'm showing off your zebra cakes, right?
That's your favorite. Dr. Umar, do you know how to make the title? You know how people have a title?
Right.
Do you know how to do that?
I think with Instagram, don't you add the title after it? Or you can do it before? It's after, right?
Yeah, some people, I don't know how these folks
I don't know how they
these
do it.
days.
I'm the most IT illiterate person you know. I gotta show them the ginger ale too.
I'm gonna just pin this comment.
Oh, the cashews. I love me some cashews. So while we waiting for the show to start, just a couple of announcements to the brothers and sisters out there watching. We live tonight, Philly Hot Radio. What's the website?
www.phillyhotradio.com.
So you want to go to www.phillyhot, that's with 2 T's, spell hot with 2 T's, www.phillyhotradio.com. And they'll be able to see everything, right?
You can also go to YouTube. We'll be streaming live right now as well.
Go to YouTube also at Philly Hot Radio. And hot is with 2 T's. So you can hit up the YouTube, Philly Hot Radio, or you can go to the World Wide Web, phillyhotradio.com. Spell hot with the 2 T's. So I'm here with the lovely Miss Davina Cherry. She done spoiled me. She done brought me the zebra cakes. She done brought me the Sweeps ginger ale. Y'all know how I am about my zebra cakes. Y'all know how I am about my ginger ale. And it cannot be Canada Dry. It must be Schweppes or Seagram's.
Okay.
And you know how I am about my cashews. So we doing it real live right here today. Couple quick announcements. The Boston, Massachusetts Black Parent Boot Camp. How much time we got?
We just started 7:05, so we still got an hour.
We live already.
I just put that on just.
Oh, well, let me cut
in.
then. I'm on your time.
All right.
I'm ready.
Can you join my live, or would you rather join yours?
Join mine.
Okay.
Join mine.
All right.
Since I'm already.
All right, y'all. Tune in. Go to Dr. Umar's page. All right.
And you know it's Ifa Tunde, right? No, I'm sorry. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Dr. Umar Johnson. Ifa Tunde is Facebook. And I'm on both, so you can do either one. But you Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'm on this.
Okay. So when she do that, do I need to hit something? Okay. So she'll come up as a request, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's going to be Davina, right?
Yes.
What name I'm looking for, Davina? All right.
I'm just telling people to go on your IG page.
That's one of my stickers for you too.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You ain't bringing them samples of the beer oil, did you? Next time.
Can you go ahead and play that first?
Let's see something.
Yeah.
Let me know when you request it, because I don't want to click on the wrong one.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Davina Cherie, and I'm here with Bird. You already know. Hey, you already know.
Requested yet?
We gotta get a dose
You did.
of Bird Talk every month when we
There we
do
go.
our show on Dream. And what's the hot topic right now, Kurt? We gotta talk about it. What's up with this boy, Derrick Jackson?
I just hit
Derrick
it.
Jackson out here.
Okay, there we go.
Girl,
You ain't like it over there.
Well, so that people can see the thing, I said, let me fix this. Let's put it in here.
Because she came on here with a beat.
So people can see my face.
If we was out here spraying his guns out here in the streets, I ain't never look like nothing. He looked like he was lost or something.
Now, most of that feedback coming from where?
I'm just saying.
Right. Here I'm gonna tag. Like so they know who I am. This one? Okay. It's because these two phones is right next to each other. That's why it's giving feedback. Yeah. If you turn maybe mute, like just turn the volume down, it's still recording.
I got you.
Yeah.
I never had that happen before in the studio.
Probably because the microphones too. You
I
know.
got you. I got you.
You know, it was irritating because she was defending them in the video.
Just to find out that he was at the chick house backstage. Doing the video outside of his house.
You know about the DERRICK. That's what the video.
Real talk, I was still with the 4-page or whatever. I was seeing.
Is my volume all the way down? Can they hear me?
If your volume down, then yes.
They can still hear you, even if okay.
Turn your volume down.
I don't know. I just ain't never. I don't know. And certain people that either come out at me or they don't. Something doesn't like what they do. And then, and it's so you know Kevin on stage, the comedian. He going. Why did Derrick JAXN do like look at a reflection video? Like when he talks about what happened in the video about himself in the third place.
Does he know he ain't?
He's crazy. Are you serious? It's like me and you having a talk and you gonna critique this, Thomas and this.
I'm just checking the sound on this phone.
Take your time.
That's you, right? So yes, I can. Your parents is dumb. His wife is dumb for staying with him. Even though that's what she want to do, that is well within her right. That's her husband. I don't tell nobody you nothing to do with their husband or bitch you that got nothing to do with you. But I'm just gonna pray for her because you gotta know your word.
This will be a wake-up call with all the press attention and social media attention, but you know.
I don't know, girl. Sometimes people be so deep in their business.
You can talk about it if you want.
Because your best friend, you know. I saw Derrick JAXN.
Whatever you want to do.
Pictures back to day. I got video, audio, and FaceTime. And she was like, that was not Derrick. You know how some people just be like that. She just wanted to come to the right channel and ain't on her own.
And he's using God. He's using God like to manipulate her.
I ain't gonna use her.
Yeah, like he was like, because she's into the Lord. So he's all of a sudden he's into God.
But that's what he's like.
I have two girls.
If he fell off with God or whatever, he's straight. So now you back and know the Lord all over in there. So yeah. Why everybody always want to bring Jesus in this? He minded his business. Y'all come over here telling my son, Jesus had me. No, he wasn't. I thought God was really saying, yeah, go out and freak the rules. Go ahead.
Yeah, that background combo, that's intentional.
Like,
You got that running on purpose. The background conversation that we're listening to right now.
Yeah, so it's on the YouTube.
Okay.
Somebody always brings me. Like, sir, where will we when you look?
A lot of them mentioned in the background, yeah.
That's your life. But I digress.
Well, you just going to have to move on. You want to move on from Derrick JAXN and his.
I'm about to say today is reality divorce week. Because
Really?
I don't know if you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Oh no. Well, that's convenient timing.
What happened with Lil Nas X? Where everybody?
Okay. Big divorce. But girl, he had a damn girlfriend for 5 years. 5 years. Somehow, well, I thought it would be better to sleep with one person as opposed to a bunch of others.
Wow.
And sisters had a baby December 2020. All right, good night, bitch. Good night. Yeah, that's the deal breaker for me.
The baby, yeah.
Yeah, you ain't having no baby on me.
Okay.
I might just go to marijuana, infidelity, maybe. Don't let me have concrete hard facts though. If I got a concrete hard proof, I'm out of here.
See, and it's like, I have conversations like, they like, Davina, don't give up on finding somebody. How about they find me? That's number one. And I'm just like, I'm not my best self. So some of these guys need to do the mirror work and see if they really are ready to be in a marriage. Because I know the work to be in a relationship, and I have been in long-term relationships. I know I'm like, I really don't want that right now. So I'm cool. And it's like,
But
okay.
see, that make you a good person because you ain't out here doing go first in your head up like.
So it's still playing good?
Yeah.
Okay. And just let me know when it's getting towards the end. So,
When you get to 21,
what you said?
so when you get to the middle.
Like towards the end of the audio?
Okay.
The audio altogether is 22 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, for those who are just tuning in, I am Davina Cherie, and you're listening to R&B Dreams. What you were just listening to is happening still on the YouTube live channel. So you want to go to phillyhotradio.com and listen to what they're saying as far as financial. She's going to bring some information about, finances and things that Biden is doing. Some of the relief packages and things that, help us get our money up, a little bit. But, if you want to tune in to that, just go ahead and go to the YouTube channel, Philly Hot Radio. And we're going to get started, Dr. Umar.
All right.
So we were just talking about, before she started getting into the financial stuff, she just wanted to vent about Derrick Jackson.
Yes.
What do you think of, as far as that whole situation with Derrick Jackson?
Well, with regard to the Derrick Jackson situation, I was unfamiliar with him. Mm-hmm. I had never heard the name until a few days ago. Okay. People started sending me the video, and they said that the radical black feminists on YouTube is starting a movement to shut down all of the male life coaches. So I was taken aback by that. Radical black feminists, which is basically sisters who see the black male as
it's not any one person.
It's not any one person.
You're saying as a group.
Right.
Gotcha.
Sisters who see the black male as the source of all of the black woman's problems. If there's a problem that the black woman has, it's the black man's fault. So they don't see racism. They don't see lack of opportunity. They don't see the black woman. All they see is the black man. It's always his fault. And the message was they intended to start a campaign to destroy all prominent black male life coaches on YouTube. So people were sending it to me as a warning or a heads up. So I took offense to it because unlike the Derrick Jacksons and the Kevin Samuels of the world, I actually have credentials. They don't. I'm actually a clinician. They're not. You understand? I actually been in the mental health field for 20 years. They haven't. And life coaching is probably the smallest piece of my overall puzzle of services that I offer to the community. Now, with that being said, looking at the Derrick Jackson situation, there were certain contradictions I saw on the part of the sisters who were quote unquote exposing him. And I hate that word. But one contradiction, if you're doing this so his wife will know, if you're doing this to protect the sister involved, why not go to her confidentially, let her know what's been going on, and let her decide what she wants to do with it? Because if you look at the video that she did, it doesn't appear that she was in shock at all about what she heard. 9 times out of 10, she already knew what the man was doing because there was no shock on her part. None. There was no surprise whatsoever. So for these women to be arguing that they're exposing Derrick Jaxn to protect his wife, that is a total misrepresentation of the truth because you're disrespecting her more than you're disrespecting him because you're making her look bad. You're making her look like a fool. And you're just constantly putting out his information, which is a reflection on her as the wife. So that was feminist hypocrisy, number one. Number two, when I look at a lot of these women who are doing these Derrick Jaxn expose videos, I don't see any responsibility being laid at the feet of the women involved. All of them knew what they were doing. All of them knew what they were doing. Nobody has held them accountable yet. So the woman who voluntarily gets involved with the married man is a victim all of a sudden. And the total blame is put on the black male. And he was wrong. He had no right to be cheating on his wife. And he had no right allegedly bringing a woman into their home, allegedly telling them that his wife's sex wasn't good, allegedly talking about he left them, and allegedly not being forthcoming about the fact he had children. If those allegations are true, that's wrong. I could respect the man who says to these women, I'm married, I love my family, my kids, what we do is what we do, but it better never come to my wife. At least you're being upfront. But if he told them he was leaving his wife, then that was leading them on. Because now they can say, you told me that you guys were breaking up. But regardless, y'all knew he was still married at the time. You understand? And you still entered into a relationship with a married man knowing he was married. So it should be equal blame. And when I hear people say things like, well, those women were not a part of his marriage. They didn't take the wedding vow. Derrick Jaxn took the wedding vow. Well, to me, that is just as hypocritical as not holding the women involved responsible because we are a community. And as a community, as a black woman, you are just as accountable to his wife as he is. Where is the sisterhood? Where is the community? Where is the all for one, one for all? To say these women are not responsible for what they did because they didn't take a marriage vow is the most European thing I heard all week. If you are a black woman and you care about other black women, then what you did to his wife is just as bad as what he did, if not worse. Let me say this and I'll be quiet. I don't like the way that this looks to the young people. See, I'm always coming from a school psychologist perspective. I'm always looking at how does this appear to our young people? And when black boys, teenagers, see black women gang up on a black man and spend every day, all day long trying to destroy him, there was nothing wrong with addressing it. But we got other issues. We got miseducation issues. We got homelessness issues. We got police genocide issues. We got gentrification issues. We got mass incarceration issues, access to wealth issues. We have so many problems. We are a people in a state of emergency. You don't have time to do 50 million Derrick Jaxn videos. And if you got time to do 50 million Derrick Jaxn videos, something is wrong with you. You see, and it means that you're doing it for fame, you're doing it for attention, you're doing it for likes, you're doing it for views, you're doing it for YouTube dollars. Because if you were doing it for the benefit of the community, you would have done it another way. You would have got away from it after you finished and found something else to focus upon. But our boys are watching this. And it's feeding this energy that some toxic males are putting out in the community that black women ain't worth the black man's time. See, I don't want our when a 15, 16, and 17-year-old black boy who's politically uneducated turns on YouTube and see a whole army of black women attacking this one black man day after day after day, and then absolving the women involved of any blame whatsoever, it starts reinforcing that narrative that you should go get you a white girl, go get you a Latino, go get you a Chinese, go get you an Indian, go get you a Jew, you understand? Go get you a Mexican, because they know how to treat a man. So by doing this, they're perpetuating a narrative that is going to have our black boys thinking that they should not be committed to black women. I don't like that. And on the flip side, it's going to feed the negative narrative of a lot of radical black feminists who are teaching our girls that the black men ain't worth their time. So on both sides of the aisle, the way the women are handling this and the way that the man is being perceived is going to feed into negative stereotypes that our children are seeing all day long anyway. For example, most of the major advertising right now is either interracial couples or mixed race couples. You understand? Biracial and interracial. You don't see a lot of black man, black woman advertising. You don't see a lot of black woman, black man sitcoms and miniseries and movies anymore. Everything is interracial or biracial. And by reinforcing this whole Derrick JAXN saga, it ain't even about Derrick JAXN. It's about the way black women feel and relate to black men. And it's about the way black men feel and relate to black women. It is a reality show that is just as dangerous as the reality shows that we see played out on television. We're creating a consciousness around black romance and black love that's going to send a lot of our teenagers and a lot of our sons and daughters looking for a mate from another race.
So you missed the I want to say Bill Cosby. I can't even say the Bill Cosby the show, because it's like, dang, even it's a stigma with Bill Cosby. But so you want those days back, the black family sitcoms, and those kind of things.
Not sitcom though, drama. See, black life in America is not comedy. It's drama. Every day you wake up in Philadelphia, somebody's getting shot. That's drama. Philadelphia leads America in gentrification. That's drama. So the black reality should not be made a joke. We don't need any more sitcoms, because sitcoms eat away at the reality of our experience. We don't need to be making jokes about the black family. We don't need to be making jokes about the black husband, the black wife, the black children, because you're taking away from the reality of our situation. We need dramas. I wasn't against the Cosby Show, but the Cosby Show, to some extent, was a misrepresentation of everyday black reality. Don't get me wrong. I see no problem with projecting a successful black male as a doctor and a successful black female as an attorney in the same house with children, because that does happen. So I have no problem with projecting that, but I don't think the Cosby Show had enough real moments in it. I don't think the Cosby Show had enough of the true encounters that black people go through on a regular basis to give it a real feeling. So even if they live in the suburbs, you could have showed a lot more about racism. You could have showed a lot more about poverty. I felt the Cosby Show was a distraction away from what the everyday black family really goes through, but could have been a blessing had they injected more of the everyday real life experiences for black people. But the reason they don't do that, the reason with these sitcoms, they don't put enough real life racism in them, is they're trying to attract the non-black viewer. They want white people to watch the Cosby Show. They want white people to watch Blackish. They want white people to watch these shows. And if you put too much racism in it, too much real life blackness in it, white people won't watch it. That's why none of the shows catered to black people really address the needs of black people, because you want to make sure white people don't turn it off. If there's one thing white people do not like, they do not like to see a mirror held up to themselves with regard to how they treat black people. The first of all white privileges, is the privilege to never be held accountable for how you treat black people. That's the first of all white privileges.
So before I'm going to touch back real quick, with the Derrick JAXN situation, I agree to a certain extent. However, I just think the whole it even being on social media thing is just like, every day he's on there preaching about, what guys need to do better. But it's like, he's preaching, is it because he was actually doing those things himself? You know, it takes one to know one, you know.
Oh, he was a hypocrite.
You know,
He
it's like,
was
we don't have
wrong.
No, okay, so we agree.
He
that
was
he's
wrong.
a hypocrite.
That ain't the issue.
So-
he was dead wrong.
Okay,
that
and
is
then
not my problem.
Also, for me, it was like
Our problem was
people
how
focusing
we
on the
react.
wife, like in the light of why she wearing the bonnet. It's like y'all.
That's a
totally-
strong woman.
You know,
That's
it's
a very
like-
strong woman.
It's like, and they're attacking her for how she looks. It doesn't matter if she was Beyonce. Beyonce got cheated on.
First of all,
you know,
her bonnet,
that's my thing.
let me tell you, again, I'm always looking at things from the eyes of psychology. What I got from her in that outfit with the bonnet, what went over everybody's head, she dressed like that on purpose. There was a nonverbal message that she was communicating to anybody watching the video. And the nonverbal message was simply, I'm not buying this shit. See, if she would have got dressed up, then that would have communicated, I'm behind him, I'm backing this story, I believe everything he say. But the fact she came down to the living room in her pajamas was letting us know, don't fall for this because I'm not falling for this. So I had no problem with the way she dressed. That was a message to us that I am not invested in the message he about to give y'all. We totally missed the point of the bonnet. The bonnet means I'm not connected. That was the bonnet's message.
Got you. I feel you on that, for sure. How are we on time? So we still running on the other audio? Okay, yeah, just let me know. And then
Here's another conversation. And he's wrong. He's dead wrong. I'm not worrying about him lying to the world because 99% of the people on YouTube lie to the world. 99% of celebrities lie to the world. I'm not concerned about his lies on YouTube. We want to be entertained. And the Negroes on the YouTubian universe don't care about truth. They care about likes and views. They care about being entertained. You understand me? So they don't care if he told the truth or not. The issue is whether or not it's entertaining. So the YouTubian community does not function on truth. The YouTubian community functions on entertainment. You understand? So I could care less about whether he lied to the YouTube world. That ain't the point. He lied to his wife. And now she has to suffer the repercussions of the dysfunctional YouTubian community. See, social network is the devil. It is absolutely the devil. And social network is one of the best examples we have to show you how dysfunctional and self-hating Black America is. Listen, social network gives everybody their own media platform. 50 years ago, you had to go through a filter. 50 years ago, you couldn't say it unless you could verify it. 50 years ago, you had to go through the 5 major media companies to put anything out there. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, it changed the game. Now everybody has a media platform. And look what we do with it. Go through YouTube. How many channels do you see are really dedicated to a good conversation about something relevant? How many channels do you see are focused on any of the core problems of Black America? The miseducation, the mass incarceration, the gentrification, the access to wealth, the police genocide. There's channels out there who... There's a few, but compared to everything else, you would not think that Black America was in a state of emergency if you look at YouTube. You got people, the whole channel is dedicated to gossip. The whole channel dedicated to slander. The whole channel dedicated to reality TV. The whole channel dedicated to sports. We are in a state of emergency fighting for the survival of our community. And we want to spend all day long talking about one man's infidelity when half of all Americans cheat on their spouse. That does not make it acceptable. But it simply says we got bigger fish to fry than that. But it begs forth another question that has to be handled. I'm going to introduce this even though it's controversial because it got to be discussed. Speaking as a psychologist, being brutally honest with you, I think one of our greatest dysfunctions when it comes to the Black family right now, in this generation, the millennials and the young ones and the ones over that, is you have this belief, not you, we, that alpha males are monogamous. alpha males are not monogamous.
That word, alpha male.
Stay with me. Listen, and I'm not giving Derrick Jaxn no excuse because he cheated.
So he alpha male?
I would consider him an alpha. He is the type of male that a lot of women would want to date. And guess what? This whole situation he went through, it will mean nothing. There'll be more women waiting for him when it's over. I did a video a couple days ago when I said to Derrick Jaxn's wife, if you want to leave your husband for your own reasons, that's your business. You don't leave your husband for what other women want to say about him. Because them same women telling you to leave Derrick Jaxn will be in his bed tomorrow. You understand? Here's the point that I'm trying to make. There's millions of black men out there who will be loyal to our sisters. You understand? And faithful. But they're the beta males. Alpha males by nature are not monogamous. The man that every black woman wants, they are not monogamous. You understand? And that is a conversation that has never been honestly had. It doesn't mean you can't find a good man. It means you need to revisit your interest in having an alpha. Those men historically, of any race, we're talking about us obviously, but look at the alpha male in any community, white, Chinese, Arab, Latino, Mexican. Alpha males do not do monogamy. And I think alpha males need to stop lying. Let me give you an example. I'm going to have 2 queens. I've made that clear. It's no need for a woman to even try to get with me if she don't understand she's going to have a sister wife. I'm not going to lie to my wives. Do you understand? I'm going to be honest. You're going to know coming in that I'm going to have 2. Ain't no lies. I'm not playing no lies with my queendom. Derrick Jaxn should have done the same thing. Derrick Jaxn is not monogamous. I'm not sure if he ever can be. You understand? And he should have been honest with his wife going into it. Here's a big problem. Black men are not giving black women an opportunity to choose. If you and I are dating, I need to tell you, listen, you're not going to be the only one. And I need to be honest with you about how many others there will be. Right. So for Dr. Umar, I'm going to have 2. That's it. You understand? Another man might want 3. Another man might want 4. And he might not want those other women consistently during the marriage. Some men are serial polygamists. You know what that means? That means that co-wife is never the same person from year to year. In other words, the first year of our marriage, she's the co-wife. The second year of our marriage, she's the co-wife. You have men who have a high need for variety. They know this about themselves, but because they want you to be the primary woman, they don't tell you the truth. I think that's what happened with brother Derrick Jaxn. His wife is a very traditional, laid back. She's not a hot girl. You understand?
She's a beta.
I wouldn't say she's a beta. I would say she's a traditional black woman. Raised well, homegrown, into the church, love her man, love her family, love her children. And she's beautiful. She was the perfect catch for Derrick Jaxn. But because she was so perfect as a woman to hold him down and help him lay his foundation, he misled her about his true intentions. You see, when you look at her, I can see why he chose her, because she's everything you need minus the drama. But he lied to her. You understand? And my biggest issue with him, you should not have misled your wife about being a monogamous when you know you're not. And we got too many men misleading women, making them think that they're monogamous and they are not. That's where the problem comes in.
Wow, so many things. I had so many things I want to say, but it's like, I'm trying to catch on my thoughts. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this. How are we doing on time? We on the live feed. All right, so we are here today, not to get away from the point of the matter. Black Parent Advocate, the newest book that the UMAR is putting out. And now people on the IG Live just got a behind the scenes conversation. So lucky y'all. We're going to get into this book. So I started reading the book. I just got it like a week ago.
Yes, ma'am.
When I got it. And so I love seeing the softness of how you feel about your mother. That was a side to me that I have never witnessed before.
What was that?
When you were writing the open letter to your mom.
Okay.
And I said, who is Jermaine?
That's my birth name.
I said it was Jermaine.
My mother, I was born Jermaine Shoemake because my mother's surname is Shoemake.
Okay.
So I was Jermaine Shoemake.
Oh, not Johnson.
No, Johnson comes later. My father was Johnson.
Oh, my family's a Johnson too.
We could be related.
Okay.
So when my parents married, I was about 7 or 8 years old. As part of that arrangement, my father legally changed my name from Jermaine Shoemake to UMAR Johnson. And then we relocated to North Carolina, which was easy on me dealing with a new name because everyone in North Carolina would meet me as UMAR Johnson.
Okay.
But back in Philadelphia,
It was Jermaine.
I was still Jermaine for a while and still am to some people. You understand? But my biggest issue with the name change is my father did something to my original birth certificate. And so, you know, in spiritual circles, it's often good to know the time of your birth. But because he destroyed my original birth certificate, I no longer know the original time of my birth. So that has been a problem.
So just reading and opening the book, you just go right into the sample letters, and I love that. And there was a few things just skimming through. I didn't know like you could get a second. It looks like you can get second
Opinion.
The books. It was saying about textbooks, like you can get
A second
copy.
set of books. If the
So-
child is in special ed, if they have an IEP, the parent can make the argument that my child needs a second set of books to come home with them because they can't possibly practice and get the homework done without the text in front of them. But even for regular ed students, the parents can organize. See, what a special ed parent can do by herself, regular ed parents can do as a group. In other words, if your son is in special ed, you don't need me and her. You're going to call an IEP meeting and say, as a condition of my disabled child's education, he needs a second set of books. But if all three of us got children in regular ed, we can form a committee, meet with the principal, and demand that our children come home with the books. See, this not sending kids home with the books, that's only a ghetto thing, you know. You can't find me a white school in the suburbs. You can't find me a school where the children don't take their books home. That is a ghetto policy. It is disrespectful, and it clearly sends a message that neither the child nor the parent values the education. Because how are you expecting me to practice and improve, and I don't even have use of the book? And we have allowed it to go on. It's been about 20 years now of children coming home without the books, and we can't blame nobody but ourselves because we are so complacent. One thing that slavery did to the Negro psyche, slavery made us comfortable being treated like dogs. Slavery made us comfortable being treated like dogs, and we have to get out of that comatose that has us believing white people have some sort of decree from God Almighty to treat black people any kind of way they want to.
And another thing I saw, you were writing a letter about, it looked like disciplining children. Like, I guess if your child is being reprimanded for, I guess, hitting another student or something.
Right.
That was another. Did you want to touch base on that? 'Cause
Well,
as a substitute teacher myself, I feel like there is pressure from, administration and things like that, especially when it
Pressure
comes
to do what?
To like the first thing they want to do is we suspending you, or that's the threat.
Right.
That's
Right.
I'm a substitute teacher.
Right.
So it's like that's the first go-to is always that.
And it's not effective.
Right.
Out of school suspension grew out of early American agriculture, where every other white family had a farm or worked on one. So the idea was, if you were suspended from school for 5 days, guess what you were doing for 5 days? Out there reaping the crops, planting the crops, plowing the field. Nobody wanted to get suspended from school because you had to do back-breaking work with your father in the field. But school has evolved since then. America is no longer predominantly an agrarian society, so out-of-school suspension don't work. So why do they still use it? Because it gives teachers a break from black children they don't want to be bothered with anyway. It is an absolute crime that most black children in America are being taught by people who could care less as to whether they succeeded or not in life. And I don't care if they go to Lower Merion High School which is one of the richest school districts in America. I don't care if they're in the school district of Philadelphia. I don't care if they're at an independent white school or a Catholic school. The bottom line is 99% of all black kids in America, whether they're rich or poor, is being taught by a white person or a non-African, Chinese, Mexican, Latino, you name it, who has no vested interest in their success. That is a crime. Educating children is so important that the person educating them must be a stakeholder in that success. They must be a stakeholder in that success. And black children are taught by people who are not only not stakeholders, but could care less about whether they learned or not, and are often the leading proponent to get them expelled, medicated, or juvenile adjudicated. The school is the leading referral source for new juvenile justice arrests and complaints. In other words, a black boy is more likely to get arrested in school than in the street. It's the teacher who is sending the black boy through the criminal justice system already before he even graduates from high school.
I'm just reading some of the comments talking about teachers. It was a section here that also said about checking to see if a teacher is certified or not. And even as a substitute, I've been trying to get certified. It seems like they give you a stipulation where you have to have a certain grade GPA in most of these certification programs. Do you have any?
They do that to keep you out.
Recommend?
They're all largely the same, but I would recommend go through an HBCU. You feel me? Cheney, Lincoln, see if they got certification program. Dell State, Maryland, Eastern Shore, Howard. I recommend those because what the white folks are doing to keep us out, and they do this across profession, but especially in education. And the reason why they're so aggressive with it in education is because public education is the white woman's go-to career. You follow me? If you're a white woman and you're just looking for something that you can eat off forever, good retirement, good benefits, more vacation days than any other professional, right?
I'm not gonna lie, that's why I became a teacher, because I want my summers to myself. I ain't
No, you're supposed to become a teacher to help the kids, woman.
That's
Summers
it,
is
that's
second.
it.
But but that's why they become teachers.
Yeah.
You see, and so no matter what other career their husband has, he's on their insurance. You see what I'm saying? So public education is a white woman's empire, and they guard it by keeping black women and others out. It's no coincidence that we now have a national shortage of black female teachers. What are we doing with a national shortage of black female teachers? I'll tell you what we're doing with it. Number one, last hired, first fired. Number two, given the toughest jobs and always overlooked for promotion, right? A black woman could have been in the classroom for 20 years. Certified principal, never gets picked to run a school. White girl been there 2 years, can barely teach. She already got her own school. You see? So a lot of black women, they love our kids, but they get burned out. They keep you in the classroom forever and never promote you. You go downtown to 440, all them young white folks in there, they don't know nothing about our kids. They got them jobs because of their connections with white folk. And the third thing is these teacher examinations that they're using. This praxis, it ain't nothing but racism and apartheid. And they use them test scores to systemically keep us out. Just like you said, they look at your GPA.
And this wasn't my career path. So
Right.
I studied communications, and we see, I was an intern at a few TV stations and did some radio internships and record label internships. So I started a nonprofit. So then that became my passion, and it's like teaching is just another branch of what I'm doing in my nonprofit. So it was like, it wasn't my career path. So my GPA, when I was done school, I said, I'm done. And I wasn't thinking about my GPA for a certification program. So that was, I don't know, a lot of people may be in that situation too.
Yeah.
So definitely going to an HBCU is what you would recommend.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they didn't decide on the policy before they looked at black people's QPAs. They decided on the policy after they look at black people's QPAs. In other words, what can we do to cut down on the number of black women trying to become teachers? Black men. When I was at Millersville University 20 years ago, I was a psychology major. I was president of the Black Student Union. I influenced a lot of other students to get into psychology to help us fix our people's minds. So guess what they did? To cut down on the amount of black students who would cross over from their major to psychology, they upped the GPA. You see, I think it was like 3.0. They made it like a 3.5. What can we do to keep the Negroes out? And so the test score is now the new Jim Crow sign. Just like you used to have a sign that say no blacks, they don't use the words. They use numbers now. So now they say 3.75 only, 1,600 on the SAT. You got to have at least a 19 on your ACT. They use the numbers. They look at how black people score, and then they set the bar just above where you score to make sure some of you creep in, but most of you are kept out. And we need to start fighting against the test. And the reason we're not fighting against the test is because a lot of our black politicians are too afraid to charge and accuse white people of racism. Another genius chess move on the part of white folks, they had made black people feel uncomfortable accusing them of racism. Whenever you accuse white people of racism, you're playing the race card. You understand? As if every card ain't the race card. What was slavery? Wasn't that the race card? Jim Crow, police genocide, miseducation, mass incarceration. Show me one aspect of American society that's not ruled by race. It has to be ruled by race because white people are a numerical minority globally, and they're quickly becoming one in their own country. So if you do not focus on race, if you do not focus on white privilege as a white person, then you're undermining your advantages. So they're always looking at how many black people are involved. They're always looking at how many of us get an opportunity. There has never been in America, not one day in 400 years, where they haven't sat around a table and decided how much of a better job can we do keeping black people from getting opportunities.
Absolutely. I know someone who took the praxis about 6 times.
And can't pass it, but the white girl take it one time, she'll pass it. And how about the black girl who failed the praxis, might have tutored 5 or 6 white girls, and 4 to 6 white girls she tutored passed it, but the tutor never passed the test. You know why? We're not in the rooms when they score the test. How do you know you failed it? How do you know you failed it? Because a white person sent you a letter in the mail and said you failed it. If you think white folks are going to be honest, about black people's test scores, when jobs are at stake, resources are at stake, political control is at stake, you're out of your mind. If they can lie and tell you you're not even a human being, what the hell you think they'll do with some votes in a closed room or some test scores in a closed room? It's the same thing with elections. Black people actually think these white folks count the votes. You really think they counting these votes? Oh, that was a close run. Wasn't no damn close run. You won, but you ain't got nobody in that room with the guts to come out and say you won. I'll give y'all an example. The Breonna Taylor case. The Attorney General for Kentucky, a coon with a white girl, he had a grand jury. He basically shafted the whole grand jury process. Didn't give them all the evidence. Didn't tell them that there was 6 potential murder charges that they could have brought forth for them cops who shot our sister Breonna Taylor. Guess what? We never knew until one of the jurors went public and one of the jurors petitioned the courts to release the transcripts of the grand jury. In other words, somebody was in the private room and decided to tell. Are you following me? We need somebody who's back there counting the votes to decide to tell. We need somebody back there when they scoring these teacher praxis exams who decided to tell. We need spooks by the door. The problem is we ain't got too many spooks by the door because most of our people act like they infiltrating the system on our behalf when they end up getting flipped by the system used against us. Very few Negroes who go into the system come out loyal to black folks.
I'm glad you brought that point up because I'm thinking about today, I don't know if you heard the defense about George Floyd.
What'd they say?
Basically saying that he was on all types of meth and he had another type of pill, perks and all this.
And what that got to do?
In his system that he swallowed it to try to hide it because when the cops came.
So what?
That was the overdose was his. So my thing is, how do we know for sure, like you're saying, what they're saying, if that's true?
You don't.
You don't.
You
know? So I'm glad you just brought that point up, because that's where I was about to lead into.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 2021, 2020. We already know it was a very challenging year, but I'm kind of glad those things that happened, not glad, but I feel like as a society, I guess you could say a third eye is opening in a sense, and we're kind of, things that we already know exist.
Mm-hmm.
Some people that don't, they're finally realizing these things exist. As far as racism, we got now Asians are being attacked. Well, they're saying they've always been attacked. What is your take now on this movement?
Let's talk about the Asian invasion of the black agenda. Every president in American history since Dr. King's assassination, April the 4th, 1968. So next week, 78, 88, 98, 08, 18, 19, 20, 21. 53 years. Every president since Lyndon Baines Johnson has had to select a non-black minority issue that they would cater to and that they would project to distract away from the black agenda being the primary non-white issue in America. Dr. King was a media genius because Dr. King was able to keep the black agenda on the forefront of the TV. Every night you turned on the TV, the black agenda was there. That's why they let the water hose get blown. That's why they let the dogs bite us up. That's why they didn't use violence, because Dr. King knew he had to master the message from the media. So after Dr. King used the media against white supremacy, he may have been the only black leader who was ever strategic enough to use the media against his own system. They said, we can't let this happen again. So every president since LBJ has had to choose a minority issue that they would cater to and publicize to make sure black people's issues are never discussed. Barack Obama, LBGTQ. Every day you woke up, Obama was talking about LBGTQ. Donald Trump. Every day you woke up, he was talking about immigrants and the wall in Mexico. Joe Biden. Every day you wake up, he's talking about some new transgender rights and transgender discrimination. But now with the Asian invasion, Joe Biden has a second minority issue. So not only does he have the transgender thing that he's catering to, now he got the Asians. Now they're talking about violence against Asians. First of all, wrong is wrong. No matter who does it, no matter who the victim is. When those 8 Asians was murdered in Atlanta, it was wrong. My heart go out to their family. That shouldn't have happened. But don't you dare use that and turn it into a political stunt to make it look like Asians are victimized in America by violence more than black folks. We've been getting victimized for 4 centuries, and we've never gotten the type of attention that the Asian community got. A few days ago, President Biden signed an executive order against violence against Asians. He used his presidential privilege to sign an executive order against Asian Americans. Can I ask you a question? Where has been the executive order against violence against black people? Where has been the executive order against police genocide? Where has been the executive order against all these lynchings and all these hate crimes against black folk? We've been here 4 centuries. We built the damn country. No executive order. One tragedy in the Asian community, they get an executive order. July of 2015, Charleston, South Carolina. Dylan Roof walked into a church and murdered 9 Africans, including 7 mothers. They didn't fly the flag half-mast. The president and vice president didn't come and meet with us face to face, and there was no executive order. So black people are seeing right now how the white power structure is catering to another racist agenda above and beyond our own. It is an insult for them to cater to the Asian community like that and then try to argue that we participate in the systemic violence against Asians. If that's the case, if black people don't like Asians, How the hell they robbing us blind every day in America's ghettos? If black people don't like Asians, how in the hell they selling record numbers of Chinese food every single day? If black people don't like Asians, how in the hell are they in control of a $30 billion hair care industry? If black people don't like Asians, why there's so many Asians in the black community? This is Joe Biden and his White House in the American power structure deflecting again. Why now? Because they want to take attention away from the George Floyd case. We're going to put the attention on violence against Asians so nobody pays attention to the George Floyd case. This is about making sure nobody's paying attention if they let Officer Derrick Chauvin off or if they give him a slap on the wrist conviction and sentencing. That's what this is about. We're going to distract from the fact we didn't do nothing about police brutality against black people yet. And we're going to put all the attention on the Asians so black people get no attention at all. And we buying into it. Negroes out there marching with the Asians. They're like, we march for the LBGTs. They're like, we march for the illegal immigrants. What you marching for them for? Ain't none of them never fought for you. The Asian Americans ain't never stood up for black people. Never. And we run around standing up for them. The immigrants ain't never stood up for black people, but we run around standing up for them. Negroes had better learn and learn soon that the only friend we got is each other. And we need to stop giving our energy to other people's fights when they don't fight for us.
I'm with you on that one. We want to touch base. How much time we got?
You want to roll? She got a cut or can she roll over?
Well,
I'm good.
I mean,
we could do another half.
Okay. I wanted to go over lastly to just kind of wrap. Okay.
What happened with Lil Nas X? I'm still waiting because everybody posted it on. It's on the feed. What was it?
I keep hearing about it, but our producer here today, Sharif, said.
Tell me what happened.
He said what happened was. There's some demonic things going on as far as a commercial that came out, and it had 666 on the sneakers.
So everybody likes to wear Air Max.
Okay.
Everybody know, I think they're 96 Air Max.
Okay.
And with the 96 Air Max, they're red and black. They have blood dripping on them. And they have 666 on them as well.
Okay.
And then on the commercial, it's Lil Nas X, dressed in pretty much like all leather, hair's black, cornrow, and then there's a devil sitting in a chair. And he's on top of the devil like a stripper giving him a lap dance.
No way. Wow. This is a commercial or a video?
This is a video right now. Nike's claiming that they didn't authorize it, but...
This is a video for one of Lil Nas X's songs.
Yes.
What's the name of the song?
Not sure what the song name is.
I'll look. It's a brand new video.
Brand new.
Okay.
Brand new.
Here's what I would say to that. Okay. At the apex of the global white supremacist hierarchy, there are, in fact, demonic rituals. At the very top of the white elite, they do pay homage to Satan and the spirit of evil. They get their energy from Satan and the spirit of evil. That's one of the reasons why you have such a large child sex trafficking ring, because amongst this fraternity of vampires, they believe that sex with children provides them with a protection and with a strength that allows them to continue to do what they do. They also assassinate a large number of these children, and they drink some of the fluid that comes out of the brain, because in their demonic philosophy, there's certain fluid from the brain of a child that provides them with the vitality. Yes, that's why you seeing. That's why you saw the European who they said committed suicide, who had the island, the sex trafficking island. He was friends with Bush and Clinton, and I forget his name. He didn't commit suicide. You know, they killed him because he could expose the whole situation. Jeffrey Epstein. This is what they do. You saw last week, they found a whole bunch of children in Philadelphia. Did you see that? A sex trafficking ring. But notice they didn't arrest nobody. They keep finding children, but they never find the perpetrators. How is that? Y'all got access to everybody's cell phone, everybody's email. Right. Y'all got GPS. You could spot a fly on a wall in Afghanistan, but you can't find who let them kids out their car. You know why? Because it's being done at the very highest levels of American society. The judges are involved, the politicians are involved, the preachers are involved, and the child custody and child welfare organizations are involved. That's one of the biggest reasons they love taking black kids out of the home, because they put them in these group homes, and from the group homes they get initiated, stolen, drafted, and used for the sex activities of the upper white global white power structure. This is bigger than we could ever imagine. It is demonic, it is Satanist, it is sexual abuse. And when you get into entertainment, whether you're an athlete, a singer, or whatever, it is almost impossible for you to break the $500 million glass ceiling if you don't participate in some ritual or another. They don't let you into that fraternity unless they have something that can compromise you if you ever violated the oath. And death isn't good enough. You know why? Because they can kill you. But if you already let the secrets out, you understand it's too late. Nah, they don't want to necessarily, they may kill you in the final analysis, but they need to intimidate you. And so what they usually do is they make you participate in homosexual activity. Because for most black males, you know, for the community to know that you participated in a homosexual activity is a very embarrassing thing. So most of them have been compromised with homosexual acts. You do have to sell your soul when you get to a certain level, which is why I thank God that I was never blessed with talent enough to go in any of those ways. I was always black consciousness and black revolution since I was a child. And when young black boys and girls come to me and they say things like, I want to be a football player, I want to be a basketball, I want to be this, a part of me, I got to support them because there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that. But at the other end, I know that if they make it, they're going to have to sell their soul. And guess what? In the final analysis, it's never worth it. Look at Bill Cosby. You think, look where you at. When they done with you, they done with you. Whether you sold your soul or not, you still a Negro to them.
So with everything that we covered, I think a lot of people who are just now awakening and having this third eye that's opening now with our society, it's just like, what do we do now that we know these things are issues? We have all these assassination, literally torture, like George Floyd. To me, that's a torture video.
It was a torture.
You know, it's just in our face all the time, and it's like, okay, yes, we see these things are wrong, but it's like, what do we do? And I think a lot of people are just trying to decide. They hear your message. I feel like they hear your opinion. They hear opinions of you. And I feel like people make their decisions based on their others' opinions. And I wanted to have you on the show to kind of just speak your truth. So I'm going to give you the opportunity now just to give a last word for those people who are just kind of searching. They feel like they're in the dark. You know, you've done the research. Right. This is the thing. I need people to understand that you've done the work. You know, so that's my thing. Like, respect, whether they like you or not. You know, you've done the work. It's something that everybody can learn from you. So I guess for the last word, I'm going to just let you go in on it.
I would say, you know, there's always going to be detractors because we are a people who have been psychologically engineered to work against our own best interests. I don't think we really understand what that white man did to us for 243 years. I really don't think black people understand the psychological trauma that slavery was. We still have not regained our original consciousness since that time. He created a Frankenstein in all of us, a Negro who works against the best interests of his own people without being paid and without being asked. If you're doing something positive, I guarantee you, there's a handful of Negroes trying to stop you. You never done nothing to them. You might not even know them, but they're going to try to stop you because that is how the white man created the new black consciousness, the energy of the Negro. You're doing something positive. I know there's people trying to stop you.
You should see these comments.
Yes,
I'm saying here
because look, I got about 24 Negroes with YouTube channels, right? Who I never met in my life. I never met them. They make anti-UMAR videos all day long. They have no job. They have no life. Some of them are even married. Don't make love to their wife because they're too busy making videos about Dr. Umar. How did this happen? Even to me, because the white man made it popular for us to destroy each other on the slave plantation. He made it popular for us to tell on the runaway slaves. He made it popular for us to want to see black people do badly. Go back to the Derrick Jackson situation. Everybody not on Derrick Jackson because he cheated. Half the people on Derrick Jackson cheating their damn self. But it's the fact that a black man who was successful, attractive, doing well, has fallen from grace. By his own fault, yes, by his own fault. But that's not the point. The point is I get to laugh at another black man on his way down. And there is no better hobby for a Negro than to watch one of their own fall from success to failure. And until we get rid of that, that's why I'm building the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Because if you don't kill the Negro that lives in us, the African can never be reborn. You have a white demon in you that needs to be exorcised. And he's in the mind. And until you take that demon, that cracker in you, until you get the European out of the black psyche, we'll never be free. Because the first freedom is psychological freedom. The first freedom is psychological freedom. And until we have that, we have nothing.
All right. I want to thank you for being on the show. Where can we donate to the school, which is beautiful? I have seen it with my own eyes, my aunts and my family members that have been helping out, and everyone who else is volunteering. Where can we donate to the school?
Couple ways. Way number one, get on your Cash App, $ FDMG School. I repeat, donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Get on your Cash App, $ FDMG School. Get on your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. I repeat, paypal.me/FDMG Academy for all my international Africans. You can also mail, check, or money order payable to the FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And the fourth way, you can go to drumarjohnson.com and register to be a loyal donor. Automatic donation every month. $50 is the Bronze Club, $100 is the Silver Club, $250 a month is the Gold Club, $500 a month is the Platinum Club, and $1,000 a month is the Diamond Club. And you could also bring it to any of the lectures. We have the Boston Black Parent Boot Camp next Saturday, April the 10th. For anyone who wants to attend, you do not have to live in Massachusetts. Any parent out there who wants to get trained on how to be an effective advocate for your child, come to Boston April 10th. You can register at drumarjohnson.com. There will be a book signing in Boston the night before on April the 9th. I will be in Augusta, Georgia on April the 15th. I will be in Atlanta, Georgia, April the 16th. I will be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, May the 14th. Oakland, California, May the 15th. Los Angeles, May the 16th. South Bend, Indiana for the first time, May the 23rd. Support Dr. Umar Johnson, support black business, support independent schools, and let's organize and let's mobilize, because the only way we can save ourselves is through organization and mobilization. Frederick Douglass said, those who will not fight for themselves when they have the means of doing so are not worth being fought for by others, and will never lay the world under any obligation to them until they stand up and take their own freedom. Nobody's going to fight for black people more than black people fight for themselves. Black power. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Also, last thing, we do have the Dr. Umar Book Club. For those of you who live in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware area, we will be meeting at La Unique Bookstore in Camden. It's going to start next month. And if you're interested in the book club, please text me, 215-989-9858, and I'll keep you posted on the first meeting. But you must be serious. You must come to learn. This is not a social group. This is about studying and learning. You will have to pass the test. If you fail 2 tests, you are out of the study group, the book club. Whew.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed.
Shreveport, May 1st. Shreveport, Louisiana, May 1st. My apologies.
He's a busy man. All right, y'all, peace out. I'm out.
Black Power.
I appreciate this. I really do. I got a radio show in Arizona. My friend, he's asking if he flies you out. Would you be
Sure, I'm ready.
able to come out?
What city he in?
Arizona.
Phoenix?
No, Phoenix.
Tucson? Phoenix? Yeah, I'm ready. I ain't been in Phoenix in like 7 years. He ain't got no white girlfriend, do he? All
right, well, can we get a photo before we all go?
All right.
Yeah.
1 second.
This is a historical
I want to
moment.
have your monster too, man.
Oh, let me know when. Let me know when.
Yeah.
You got a regular show.
Yeah, my show will be here too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw you. I saw you here before.
You saw me here?
No, Dr. Umar.
Oh, Umar? Okay.
I was like, oh, that's my station.
Yeah.
You asked him to come on over.
That's one of the first videos that pops up when you go to hip-hop.com.